AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Kitty, can you feel my face?
I can't feel your face.
Hey, AfterBuzzers, welcome to the SNL After Show, Season 41, Episode 2. I'm Kim Crossman, stoked to be your lead host this evening for the amazing Amy Schumer and the Weeknd episode. Joining me on the panel this evening, we have...
Katie Wilbert, and you can find me everywhere just at Katie Wilbert.
And Amy Maestri. You can also find me everywhere at Amy Maestri, not at Katie Wilbert.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm Kelly McInerney, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HollyWeirdo.
Perfect. So we are four amazing, hilarious ladies that are going to be bringing you season 41 of SNL. We're very, very excited about that. Now, initial thoughts. Kelly, what did you think of this episode as a whole?
Summed up in just the like.
Yeah.
Some parts were good. Like I liked. Yeah. Seesaw. Mm-hmm. Disappointed by the monologue though. I was all excited about that because usually stand-up comedians are awesome with their because they do good bits, but I didn't like this one.
Okay.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, sure, that's cool. So overall, a bit of up and down. You weren't here last week, though. What did you think of the episode last week, just quickly?
It was okay, too. Like, I was kind of more impressed with Miley because I had lower expectations for her.
Sure, okay.
And I think she was good. Like, we forget that she's a good actress sometimes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Amy? What did you think of this episode as a whole?
I kind of agree that it was up and down. Honestly, though, the character performances is what I think sold it. The writing wasn't always, I think, up to the standard of what the actors were actually bringing to it. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of sketches were actually saved by just what they were doing.
I agree.
With their faces and whatnot. So, up and down, but I thought it was good overall. Mm-hmm. An okay episode, yeah.
Katie?
I was like, holy Scandy. I feel like this episode was very scandalous in that everyone was talking about it probably because they just kept bringing up guns and Planned Parenthood. Mm-hmm. So I felt like it was just touchy all the way through.
Sure.
I felt similarly, like not my favorite episode. Kate McKinnon's always a rock star. So, and I liked Amy Schumer. Mm-hmm. I feel like she was reading the cue cards. Well, everyone is always, but you could like tell sometimes. But otherwise, I felt like just like a mediocre, maybe like a C.
Okay, well, let's dissect it. I mean, I think as a whole, I actually really enjoyed last week's episode. I think it was like a good start, good energy. I think there was some highs that we can, come across that when we come to it. But let's start with the monologue. What were your thoughts?
Well, what about the cold open?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly, for helping me. I was like, let's talk about Amy Schumer. You got me on a thing. Yeah, the cold open. So Fox and Friends. This for me felt too long, and it didn't get funny until Kate McKinnon came in. I don't know what you guys felt. What did you think?
I felt the opposite. I liked it in the beginning, and then I got bored of it. Like, I liked Bobby's one-liners, like Newt Gingrich is the man who stole Christmas, Bald Aldrin was great in 3 Toy Stories, but then I got zoned out, kind of. Mm-hmm. But I did like Kate McKinnon's character a little bit, but I was like, why? Still, like... it was, I don't know,
it felt messy. It felt long to me. It felt very long. I think it was running at almost 2 minutes for a cold open, which I thought was very long. What about you, Amy? What did you think?
Yeah, I think I noted that with Kate, I mean, I think she can pull anything off that gets that crazy, too, because she just has that, like, surface crazy underneath her eyes for everything. I liked the mix of it kind of bordering on the stupidity of them, while also, like, when they were like, oh, we should have Ronald Reagan run and Buzz Aldrin, and just, like, because they're good people. Like, I think that was smart commentary, but I agree that it was kind of, like, where is it going? Like, it was kind of all over the place.
It's almost as if they tried something and it didn't quite work, so then they tried something else. And then at the end, which I thought was the funniest bit, was the corrections.
Yeah, me too.
Because it was like train spotting of catching. What was it? Mexicans are real or something?
Jewish people
are real?
Said something like twins are not like actually sexual partners or something.
So the corrections were funny, which were great. What about you? What did you think of Fox and Friends?
I think it was the one I was most quiet during. I just was kind of staring through it until it got to the quick corrections, and I was like, when I could catch some. I wish that it was slower and I could have appreciated all of the jokes, because there were a couple that I was like, brilliant.
I feel like there's so much in politics. Like, I like when they open with a good political sketch, you know? And I feel like this was kind of a weaker, like, it was kind of political, but, like, there's so much going on in the news right now, they could have focused on something better.
Some key points,
No.
Nice. Okay, rating it, I give it a C.
Same.
Yeah.
I'll go C+. I'll go easy.
Look at you. Hey, new girl. She's trying to be nice.
I'm just trying to win them over.
So, Amy Schumer, so we'll start with you, Katie.
I mean, I really liked it. I was laughing the whole way through. I wrote down the jokes, the set of jokes that I really loved, but then I guess it was all of them. Like, I loved her riffing on the Kardashian. Like, Khloe was like one of our own at one point. I loved her explaining having to wash an 18-month-old. That resonated with me because I have young nieces and I've had to bathe them before, and so I thought it was funny, and it's like a weird thing to talk about, but I think she's great, and Bradley Cooper being her boyfriend was hilarious.
I like that bit too. This might be because Kelly, you've done a lot of stand-up. Katie and I have dabbled in it. Have you given it a shot, Amy?
That's actually how I started.
Oh, it
doing
is?
everything. Yeah, it was in stand-up. So yeah.
Okay, so we've all had some experience. I feel like when you have a stand-up comedian, this might be where you're coming from, Kelly, too, is like your expectations go way up for this. I felt like she came across as confident and in control, and I felt in safe hands, and I enjoyed her content. I was curious to know how far she was going to push the envelope, because I feel like the last experience was Louis C.K., I think, and he kind of pushed the boat way out with his material. I feel like she kind of touched on it a bit with, like, washing a baby's vagina. Not sure if that's been on television before, but I don't know. I felt in safe hands, but you disagree.
I felt like she was trying new bits. I felt like she was working on new material in front of a live, and like she has a HBO special coming out a week from now, so I thought she was gonna bust out some big good jokes, and it was just like they were like half joke. I was excited in the beginning. I thought she was gonna do something like really female forward because it was like an exciting time for women. No, it's not. I thought it was gonna be more controversial, and it just like kind of fell flat. Like, oh, what are you, like yelling at, like trying to do act outs that weren't even that funny. I didn't like it. I thought I was really unimpressed. Like, and it ended on such a weak joke about hacking. Like, oh, you didn't hear about it because I didn't have anything. That's it. Like, that's you're gonna end on that joke. It was such a weak joke. I liked it was more just stories, not even like punchlines. She was just talking about how she met Hillary Clinton and met Bradley Cooper and stuff.
Are you a fan of Amy Schumer?
Yeah, I like.
Okay.
And usually, like her stand-up and specials are always really good, but I just thought it was. I guess maybe because she was trying a different. Because she usually does more sexual stuff, and there wasn't much of like many or any jokes about that. So maybe she's just trying to show her range, but I didn't like. I was unimpressed. Loved her dress.
Her boobs did look great. I will hand her that. Amy, what were your thoughts?
I immediately wrote boobs, excitement, genuine.
Yes.
Was the first thing that I wrote because she was all of those things. Yeah, I think my expectations were like probably unfairly high just because I love her so much. But I think the thing that I love so much about her is her phrasing of things, and that I think still carried through in this. I wasn't in love with the monologue, but one thing that I wrote down was when she was referencing the Kardashians, and she said their faces like they were born with as a light suggestion, which I think is such a fun way of just saying that you had plastic surgery. So I think the way that she phrased things made it kind of fun, but yeah, I think I was just expecting a lot more from her.
She was trying to be Louis and she wasn't, you know, like just trying to kind of do like current event stuff, and it just fell flat for me. Yeah.
So then the first sketch we get into after that is the Delta Airlines thing. My favorite lines are Mark did nothing, and just them hating him for no reason.
Mark.
I liked this sketch. I did feel like the tag at the end wasn't quite strong. It like had these 2 strong beats. We're waiting for the third, and then it's just him singing. I didn't quite get it.
There wasn't a third beat. That was what I wrote down. Like, weird ending. It was missing a third beat. Where was it?
And then, you
had 2 beats of someone going out of the plane, and then he just sang a song.
A lot of build up for no real. What was the
enjoyable? Sure. Like seeing her on the side of the plane.
Yeah.
And certain physical comedy aspects of it. Anytime there's a Spice Girl song,
of course,
I'm very pleased.
We're all like,
Spice Girl.
That was the best part.
But yeah, I just felt like it was missing an ending, and so I just didn't feel like there was a follow through that I wanted.
How would you maybe have Amy? What third beat would you like to have seen?
I think, and I mean, the thing is that the 2 first beats didn't really escalate from one another. Mm-hmm. So, and I mean, on it, like, how do you escalate from falling out of a plane?
I mean, they're starting pretty high. No pun intended.
So I think maybe even instead of how they would have ended it, to start it with something different, so that way it kind of had somewhere else to go. From there, but again, I think this was one that it ended up working for me solely because of their performances. Vanessa Bayer absolutely kills me every time she walks onto the stage. So I mean, I think that helped.
Yeah, the commitment was there. That's what won it, and it was like I liked the first fall like that, and that's why like they're committed hard, but the writing is just like what.
Yeah,
I did like when they're like, because of the inconvenience, you can now watch San Andreas for free. That was silly, but yeah.
It was like a clever idea of like airlines trying to become more fun with those now. Because like I was on a flight a few months ago, and you're just like watching it, and you're like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Because they're trying to make it fun. So I think that's kind of like a cute idea to poke at. But
I'll shout out to Air New Zealand because we're the leading airline in the world.
They do 6 years in a row. Videos.
We do good videos. So that's
I'll have to go to New Zealand.
You guys have to come to New Zealand. So the next sketch we get is Hot for Teacher. I love the physical comedy in this scene. I just couldn't stop laughing at his body rolls and stuff. I thought that was really great. What did you guys think?
I enjoy Kyle Mooney trying to be anybody other than Kyle Mooney. So yeah, him trying to be a hot guy was great. I was a little confused though as far as the setting goes, because at the end when Vanessa Bayer comes in as the mom and is like, yeah, we weren't sure about the school that looks like an office complex. I was like, so is this a porn set? Or is this a school?
That's what I didn't like the title. Like, if they'd had that note, like, Hot for Teacher 8, if they removed that, I felt like it would have made more sense. Because you would have just accepted, oh, this is a teacher, being... But is this are people renting this for porn?
I really couldn't figure it out. It kind of ruined the sketch for me because I loved 80 coming in and playing that game of interrupting them almost having sex. But then when it got to the point where you're like, wait, no, is this a porn set? Then is this what they wrote in as part of the porn?
I missed that because I didn't understand the bra joke where she asked where she got that bra from, and if it's not distressed or something, you can return it.
It seemed like she was the actress. Like how did you get here? Oh, I went to LA and my
was tricked.
Tricked. But everybody else were playing like real people, so it was very confusing. Like
all I could gather was that it was actually a porn set, and 80's parents are that stupid that they just found this place and sent her there. Which
that makes it funnier. Thank you, Amy. I'm like, I don't know, but his physical comedy was fun. I was like, I just pretending to be hot was funny enough for me. Oh, well, I like the line, I love D's. I thought that there were a lot of dick puns, which made me laugh because I guess, easy still.
That whole thing was funny. Like, I'm going to show him how to get a 69. That's still a D+. I love it. Like, the whole exchange was great.
Yeah. A lot of the dialogue was great. I loved her saying, but it's a 9-mile walk on the highway. A lot of the specifics said were great. I think just the fact that so many of us were confused by the setting is a fault on the writing. That should be very clear. Because part of understanding a sketch is where are you?
That would have made it funnier to me too.
They just didn't need that title thing, and then it would have been perfect. It would have made so much sense.
That's true. I think that did kind of like
throw you
set it up the wrong way, and then you're just like, huh? The whole time, just like, wait, what?
What would you guys rate that?
I would rate it for different categories. I would say, like, B for the acting acting, the physicality, and the specifics. D for the confusion.
Sure.
So a C.
Katie loves the D. Amy?
Get the average out of it. I would give it a C.
Okay.
Overall.
I'd give it like a B- because I was still laughed at it, you know?
Yeah.
It annoyed me, that thing.
So guns. We're here to stay. The commercial.
I think this shows they can have good writing sometimes. You know, this was so smart. Like, I loved the fake commercial, and you're like, what are they talking about? I thought it was like a drug, and then all of a sudden it's gun. I thought such a great surprise, switch. And I wish all the sketches were that well written.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I thought that this was really... I really like it when they do really beautifully shot stuff. Like that faux, commercial aspect. The music was great. You're right. I think the setup was great. And then playing that gag again of, seeing the gun in all these different settings where the baby has a gun. I thought that this was really well done. Also, just plays on how ridiculous it is that everyone has a gun in a way that's really funny and we can all laugh at. What did you think, Kitty?
I mean, I would have given it an A. It was, I think, my favorite sketch of the night. I loved the running voiceover, too, saying, guns are there in little moments and big ones. They unite us, comfort us, bring us joy and strength. And I just feel like that is so many people's argument, not in that exact verbiage, but it was so spot on that it was like, kudos to you guys.
Yeah.
It was great. I loved it.
My favorite shot was Kate McKinnon just running, just shooting the gun. What about you, Amy? Thoughts?
I wrote down two things, and Kate running with the gun was
I think
was
we all
one.
laughed. We all were like, ah.
But yeah, I think it was a really smart and light way to take on such a heavy subject. I thought they did a really good job of writing it too, and just I think between the strong writing and the way that they shot it so well, I think made it a much easier subject to come on to the way they did it.
They're known for pushing the boundary and talking about controversial topics, making light of controversial things, and this is the perfect example of it. And I wish they did it better in certain other sketches, but yeah.
Well, good. We've got one. We've got one on the board as a win all around. That's good. That's good.
We'll take it.
So we then have The Weeknd featuring Nicki Minaj. Now, I didn't know that she was going to show up. It wasn't until I saw it on Instagram. So it was a surprise that they kept. Now, during this performance, I kept doing this to Katie. Because I felt like that's all Nicki Minaj did the entire performance. I'm not the hugest fan of Nicki Minaj in terms of her music and stuff, but I respect her and I think that she's very clever and, she does a good job. I just felt like there was weird chemistry between these two. It's like they were two different. He tried to turn her and it was weird. He sounded great, but I just felt like it was kind of awkward. Thoughts?
It felt real awkward. I also, both performances, he started absolutely still, and it just made me so uncomfortable. You're on stage, you have to move. I don't know, something about it was really off. Until she came out and there was a bit more action happening. But yeah, weird facial stuff. I would say just physically what was happening was real strange. Vocally,
sounded great.
Yeah. Interesting that they were hiding the band in the darkness. I literally, at one point, old man to the screen, is it just electronics? Or are there actually people there? Turns out there were people.
Yeah.
Just interesting. But he sounds amazing live.
Yeah. Thoughts, you guys? You guys fans of The Weeknd?
I think that's The Weeknd in a nutshell, is he always sounds amazing, but I don't think he's a good performer.
Okay.
I've never seen him where I'm wow, just blown away by his performance. I'm always blown away by his voice. I think he has such an effortless voice. And I love that. But yeah, the same thing I remember when he performed that song with Ariana Grande. And he would do the same thing. He would just kind of stand next to her and hold her hand every once in a while. And I was like, ooh, I'm uncomfortable by all of this.
I felt like he kind of made it more uncomfortable than Nicki. I feel like she was gonna, she's saying, come on, make some noise, New York. And he was just singing next to her.
Don't speak over my song.
I really was hoping, too, though, that since Nicki was there, she's going to be in a sketch. but she wasn't.
I had thought that too.
Yeah. She looked great.
Boobs tonight. Just got them boobs out. Loved it.
Real good boob.
And also, I feel like the production, I'm not sure if you mentioned this last episode, but the production value for the music now, it looks like it's amped up.
Yeah, it looks better. I think the shots, they seem more choreographed, perhaps. Maybe there's more rehearsal or something.
The lighting is a lot nicer now, too. But yeah.
Well done, lighting crew. Congratulations. Weekend update. Thoughts on this segment, in particular, Amy?
Overall, I thought it was very hit or miss. There were some jokes that I was completely just like stone-faced on, and then there were others that really had me laughing out loud. I thought, overall, I think the Weeknd update was actually
nice.
one of the more clever, just like kind of funny, really quick things to do.
I stupidly didn't know what they were going to do. I was like, what is this? And I was like, oh. Yeah, so well done. Kelly, thoughts?
I feel like the jokes weren't as strong, but the chemistry between Che and Jost are just, I love it. Like, you haven't seen this chemistry, I feel like, since, like, Tina and Amy. I wasn't a Seth fan, so, yeah. But I feel like they just work really well together. I was really, like, nervous that they would get rid of Che or like, replace them this season, and I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they're trying it out more. Yeah, I just like how they work together, even if the jokes sometimes aren't there. I like how they dove into the gun stuff more, though, and how it was really funny that Kevin Hart tickets are harder than getting a gun.
That was good.
I like comparing the Constitution to your old grandfather.
Yes.
That was well played. I thought that was really good.
It's true.
And it's totally true.
So while, like, I feel like the jokes weren't as strong, they were still, like, very truthful, and it made you think more about, like, what's going on. And,
I liked, and we said this last week too, I feel like, what we were missing for the beats of their chemistry, I don't know whether it's an editing choice, but to, like, let things settle and breathe, and a couple of those cuts back to each other, like, giving us more of those moments, because I'm sure even if the camera's not on one of them, they are reacting, but we as an audience don't get to see it. So I think it was great last week that they showed us more of that, and this week allowing it to breathe and some jokes, and even the cut to him when he's like, I don't want them to cut to me, like, calling that out. And I'm a fan of these two together too, so I was like, yay. Like, I didn't want last week to just be a fluke out of the bag, so I'm stoked that it worked this week. Thoughts?
Yeah, it is kind of like the chemistry came out of nowhere finally, and I think
I feel like they always had that chemistry, though.
But it's like they didn't want to just fully commit. It's like there were two people looking at a relationship, being like, I don't know what we're doing. Are we hanging out, or do we want to label it? And I feel like they went for it, and they were like, we're in this, and we're gonna do this together. And then they found relief in just being committed to each other.
I think also too, though, that's because it was the first season of them doing. So they were sure. Of course they're gonna be nervous. It was both of their first seasons, period. Last season.
I think it also felt like they weren't sure what they could say. And I feel like this season, they're like, screw it.
Permission.
Yeah, they've given themselves and each other permission to pay each other out and just go for it. I starred everything Che said about the Constitution, because I thought it was brilliant.
I like the Justin Bieber penis stuff. I thought that was really funny.
That was great.
What is it? Like,
but also not
appeal to everyone without truly satisfying everyone.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I was like, what did I write?
Justin Bieber's penis should be the new Speaker of the House.
So good. So we had two guests, Solomon. Thoughts on Solomon?
Not impressed.
It was like Kristen Wiig's Just Kidding, but not
nearly as impressive.
Goddamn. I mean, we did laugh out loud a little bit just because it's the same joke, just the same the same joke repeated a bunch of times. But yeah, I was like, next, moving on.
I think the time that it actually got funny was when it was layered, like when he was like, "Oh, they turned off my air, not my air conditioning, my actual air. Now my goldfish is gonna die. I don't have a goldfish."
Yeah.
Like when he layered it like that, I thought that worked, but still not enough to be a full character.
I don't need to see him again. Is kind of how I felt. It's like I guess I don't need to see.
Yeah, it stinks too because like I feel like Jay Farrow's he's great with characters, and this was just boring. Like he could have gotten crazier, you know? Yeah. But.
And then we had Kate McKinnon come out as Mrs. and I couldn't
Santini.
Santini, thank you. I mean, I love everything that she does. I felt like this maybe played out a little too long. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was looking at her as compared to the Mr. Solomon character, and as soon as she came on, I was like, oh, that's what was missing from his. And I don't know if he was in love with his character or not, but I felt like she got on, and it's like she's got this aggressive stage presence, and even her eyes are like commanding your attention. So even if it's not a character in a sketch that I'm fully in love with, I'm fully engaged with it always. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something, again, that showcases her talent for what she's doing, and hard to compete with her, I think, in some instances when you're both guests. Like, you have to rise up to her level of energy.
I think that anytime she's on screen, I don't know if it's just because I'm a huge fan of hers, but I feel like immediately you pull focus, and I think you said this last week. If she has one line or no line, she's playing a character to a 10, 110%, and so she stands out no matter what she's doing. So, just love her. What about you guys? What did you think of her?
I think it's the little things that she does. Like in this, you could tell how proud she was of the notes that she wrote. Like as she was reading it, like she just had this look on her face. Like she's like, I am crushing life right now. And I loved that about her. And I also loved the things that she wrote the notes on. Yeah. It was like that brown paper bag thing, then like happy birthday wrapping paper. So it's like the little things about this character that I think most appealed to me for it.
Did they write their own monologues with those characters?
I don't. Depends.
Not always.
Yeah, not all the time.
Curious.
And sometimes it's not even their character they created. They just say, you're going to play this crazy
doing
lady.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tina used to write characters for Amy and stuff. Like,
I just really, I really like. I thought the writing for her character was also 1,000% stronger than the Solomon one. Like to the cast of Friday, like, just like little jokes.
A lot more references, and I think very specifics, like goldfish or whatever. I feel like it's a goldfish, but when you get really specific and you're like American flagged beta fish, like there's something very, very funny about specifics, and it's also something you learn in improv and sketch writing. That is, it makes such a difference.
Yeah.
It's so funny. If someone says Trader Joe's as opposed to the grocery store, you laugh, and you don't know why you laugh, but you do.
Yes, like Trader Joe's is hilarious though. So after Weekend Update, we moved on to the reenactment section of Lincoln. I found this funny, probably not for the reason they intended, but just because I think actors, when they go wackadoo with ad-libbing, that to me in itself was a funny premise, because I know, well, the three of us have worked together and we just go completely insane, and I almost wonder if they're like, just do stuff, Amy. I'm not sure. What did you think of this section, Kelly?
Yeah, I liked it. I don't know. It was okay. Like, I felt like it was just the same joke over and over again. But like you can't say anything about the commitment of the characters in this episode, except I guess Jay's and Solomon I didn't like, but she was super into it. It was funny, just not. I didn't laugh that much. Not as laugh out loud funny. Yeah.
Amy?
Yeah, I kind of agree with it. I did like the line, we know you're a great actor, to John Wilkes Booth. Touche. Yes. But yeah, I like the justification kind of that she's a commercial actress for Burger King, and that's kind of what she brings to this character. So I thought that kind of justification behind why she's so crazy was good. I didn't think it was the funniest thing, but I did also think, I was like, she's channeling a little Melissa McCarthy right now. I feel like in that character, like that kind of like aggressive, like I'm just gonna do whatever I want to. Like,
did you guys see her nipple gripple that she gave?
Yeah.
Did you guys see that? I thought that was funny. I was like, I feel like, yeah, if you were on set in that sketch, whether it's playing or not, you're right. The commitment was there and they were having fun. And I was like, that's cool. Like, go Amy. I don't know if anyone else could really get away with just a sly little nipple gripple there. What did you think, Katie?
I like that you're calling it a nipple gripple.
Isn't that what it is?
I think we
I'm
would
from New Zealand.
usually be like
That's
a nipple grab, or I've never heard the word gripple in my life.
First, I was like, what? How many times? And I said it like 8 times in the last 30 seconds.
I could see Kelly's confusion of like, what is
that? You guys, it must be in New Zealand.
Purple nurple.
Is what we're calling
nurple. Yeah.
Roxy, everybody. Nipple gripple's not a thing.
Like,
it should be.
Well,
do you say that you gripple things, like when you grab things?
No,
you say,
but
like,
just
gripple me that.
You know,
or like a grip, I guess.
Yeah.
Someone gave me
But
a
that's
nipple
more
gripple.
that's
I
a
don't
film
know.
term, right? I don't know. Well, as far as
I don't get them. I just like it's a thing.
As far as the sketch goes, yeah, I love the nipple pulling. Great.
You like how I was reenacting it on YouTube? Just so, yeah. Get that nipple cripple.
More than that, though, I enjoyed the reference to the black Burger King bun that they've come out with for Halloween, because I'm like, why?
Terrifying.
So, anytime you can bring that up in any conversation with me, I'm very happy. Yeah. So,
is that true, though? Is that like a new...
I don't know.
That it just makes you unwell? Probably on sight. You look at it and you're like, I will get ill because it's like a rotten bun.
Yeah.
What was...
They turned fast food worse somehow.
Yeah, it's not. I remember the first time we saw the commercial for it, we were like, "What?" Yeah,
why?
no, ew, gross.
But yeah, I thought the sketch was fun.
Selfie stick, put it up your butt. Nipple gripples to putting sticks up your butt.
Would you put a selfie stick up your butt?
I'm not into anything up my butt, to be honest, but that's just personal preference.
Informational tonight.
But I did think that I was like, oh, they're gonna do a selfie stick commercial gag, and it's it's shot well again, and then they just took it extreme. I thought it was funny.
I didn't see it going up the butt.
I did not
wasn't
see
what
that
I had forecasted.
Sometimes you don't.
Yeah, sometimes.
I
did like how it was just clenched to take the picture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It was okay. It was all right.
Yeah.
Not anything too funny, but just it kind of just shows people probably would buy that because America, like the selfie stick
America.
Because America. Yeah.
I don't know if I find butt jokes very funny. I'm realizing like inappropriate off-color humor got me all day.
And every time there was a pedophile reference, we were like butt jokes not okay.
So bad. I don't know, just something about like butt jokes. I'm like, oh, it's up your butt. So funny. Is it? I don't know.
I mean, I feel like the selfie stick gag is very old, so I don't know whether they wrote this and then they're like, oh, it's done. What could we do to make it weirder?
Found it off of an old pen board, like, what's this very old card we found from 2 seasons ago? Should we use it now? Cash it in.
Have to make it worse. Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Any notes from you guys?
No, I agree with you. Like, it's kind of an old joke.
Yeah, I didn't love it overall. I didn't think it was that funny. The one takeaway that I had that I thought was really funny was Amy Schumer when she was just like, it takes pictures? Like, that kind of like hokey, like, but I just have this thing up my butt.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Like, I thought, I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. But other than that, I was like, next.
The second to last one was the town hall citizens. My favorite character was the real hip hop guy was he from Holland? Underground?
So. Holland, yeah. That was great.
That was kind of the highlight for me. What about you guys in this sketch?
I loved Amy's little kid. Mm-hmm. Like, that was such a funny voice.
Is that the one that she's done in her show? Because she has like a pageant girl that she does, and I'm pretty sure it's that same like it was that same like Bible Belt kind of like awful honey boo boo kind of spawn of Satan child.
That's what I liked about it, was how much she compacted into one sentence and one character. Again, touching on like guns and all the stuff that Planned Parenthood. She covered it all basically in this tiny terrible capsule of a person. So that was enjoyable.
His reaction was good too. Like, you're making me very uncomfortable.
I love sketches like this too, because even if the writing's not there, it just showcases like their range of character work, you know. And sometimes that's what SNL is all about. I thought it was weird. This is like the first sketch that Cecily was in this episode, because usually she was last year. She was like the all-star,
and last week she was in most of them. I think she looked great with like hair. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. She did the voice of the gun commercial, I think. But I liked it. I love character stuff.
Yeah, I think town halls are like always a good way. It's a specific like kind of sketch. They're called town halls, where you just throw a ton of characters in the ring.
Oh, it's like a game.
It is like a very specific kind of sketch scene. And they're called town halls. So this one was called Citizens Forum, but the general format is called town hall. And it's just to throw out as many wackadoo characters as you can that have specific POVs. I'm always a fan of them. Often places like Second City will open a show with it, because they usually place characters in the audience and it gets everyone going and stuff, and it shows as many cast members as you can. So I always think it's a good thing to do to show your range. I was excited to see Leslie come on. She was so heavy in the first episode. Yeah. So interesting to just see her kind of pop into this one. But I loved her coming in as Karen, I think the alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's not Wednesday. Ever been. Yeah. I thought this would have been a good opportunity to bring in our favorite new hot guy, John.
Oh, yeah,
I thought, like, you know, if he's a new cast member, Roxy's smiling because she knows him. We said the same things at the same time. Katie and I think he's super hot, so tell him that. Do you like him? What did you think last week?
I liked he did a good performance last week with his different characters, and what was the one that was like the dancing one, the prom,
the one where he got licked by Miley Cyrus.
That was really good.
That's obviously all I noted.
Yeah.
We were like,
you mean where another girl touched him? I don't know. I just thought, I was like, oh, they'll bring him out and do something that he's good at or he has in his wheelhouse. But
he wasn't in it.
I didn't see him at all.
No,
right?
I was hoping to see him again after. I thought it was a great first showing
about
for
him because I had not seen his face once.
A lot of times when you first start out on SNL, according to the book at least, it's hard to get sketches because you're new and you have to find a writer to like kind of bond with.
Right.
Like that's what Will Ferrell had Adam McKay, who also he directs Anchorman for him and everything.
Adam McKay is everything.
Yeah, he was the head writer on SNL too.
Yeah, I've watched all of the old footage of him from Second City, and he was just as good then as he is now. Like, Adam McKay is a freaking rock star when it comes to improv and sketch.
So you're saying that he obviously needs to hustle. Well, we could do some baking for him to help him.
Roxy's got some words over here.
I don't know if my mic is on. Can you guys? Yeah, hi. Hello, guys.
Roxy, everybody.
He's awesome. John Renetsky, he's a really great guy. We went to college together. And he's a writer, which is one of the reasons he was cast on this, because he does write a lot of his own sketches and YouTube videos and whatnot.
We stalked them.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the prerequisites for being a new member on SNL if you don't have the most major credits, which he didn't. So I think that he probably is writing his own stuff, but I agree with you that it is hard at first to kind of get in because everybody has a partner or everybody's doing something or has been working on an ongoing sketch. This is not anything that he told me personally, but of course I want to see more of him, but I'm glad to hear that you guys really like him.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I love his Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, that's what you watched his YouTube videos.
I watched all of them.
Yeah, he's really
not
funny
in a weird
stuff.
way. I just was like, who are you? And then I watched all of them.
Yeah, he has all those parodies, and then his "Let Me Take a Dick Pic" was really great and blew up. So I think he'll be able to write some of his own stuff, but always finding somebody to help you and a writing partner is beneficial, of course.
And even if you're really good, like look at Sarah Silverman, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, like they were all, Janine Garofalo, they were all on for a season, and they struggled with the like even if you're a good performer, a good writer, sometimes you
gotta get it.
There's so many sketches that they're writing each week. They cut so many of them, and then some of them end up on the show, and as an audience, we're like, what? So
it's
there's
weird
some great ones
sometimes.
You'll see things that were cut and dressed, and you're like, I was dying
so
over that. What happened?
Yeah, so I would love to be a fly on the wall to understand why they choose what they choose, because I know so many good ones are probably, and they try multiple times. Like, no, I'm gonna be this character at some point. There was some weird dog-loving character that Will Ferrell pitched, and he thought it was like, he wrote it as like a joke, like this is something that will not get
the writer
through.
of a dog show when they did it with him and Molly Shannon.
They were like, this is a terrible sketch, we're gonna write it and put it in the room, and they put it on the show, but they thought it was just the dumbest sketch, and they wanted to put it in almost as a joke, and it got on the show.
It's weird what works too, because like I went to see the dress rehearsal of the first time James Franco hosted, and there was one scene where it was like he was like a crying boyfriend, and it didn't make it to live that episode. But then when he came and hosted again, they used that sketch. So
was it? Do you recall it being quite similar? Or did they do a pretty extensive rewrite?
No, it was like this, pretty much the same concept. You know, like
interesting.
I think it can depend on the flow of the actual show too, like kind of what direction they've taken, what works where,
and how many character sketches you have versus premise sketches versus political satire. Because if you're trying to put a show together, and you're trying to,
we'll just quickly do the last one because we've got to wrap up. But the baby shower, thoughts?
Felt the same as if I like the Abe one, you know, Abe Lincoln. Commitment was there. Like she was clearly having fun with her character, Amy Schumer, but it was just like, kind of funny.
Amy?
Lots of like strong premises in this episode that could have been half the time.
Yeah.
Too, I think a lot of these sketches, if they were half the amount of time, would have been so much funnier because they dragged on for a little too long. But I did like her outfit and her hair. I was like, whoever did that, like, thumbs up. I like that. And the relationship between her and Cecily of like the protective bartender and like the scared drunk girl at the bar, I thought was kind of clever and good. But again, like if this was like 2 minutes long, it would have been a lot funnier. Than it
also,
was,
I thought I like the joke in the beginning where Vanessa's like, "Oh, we're just winging it." I thought it was going to be like a joke about how she doesn't know about her pregnancy, and then it like turned into
it felt information that then didn't come full circle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. What about you, Katie? What do you think?
I loved her Cecily's just ongoing crying rant. I thought it was great. I love the costuming. I felt like, and maybe this is a problem that I felt in the Delta sketch too, like you understand what the game is, but it's not actually heightening, it's just repeating. And so I feel like to have a really strong sketch, you have to see it go someplace in the same direction but new, so you're like surprised and like, how'd they get to that place? But it just was her still being yelly and angry, and then they find the person, it ends. So
I had wanted someone to have taken it, like either actually pay off the story that they're building up, or something be missing, or I felt like it fell flat. And you're right, if it was shorter. Anyway, so next week we have Tracy Morgan and Demi Lovato. I'm excited to see Demi. I think that's going to be great, and I'm not sure what to expect from Tracy Morgan.
I'm excited. He was injured for so long, and his speech was not there. So I'm I'm happy for him. I'm so happy. I'm excited to see him. I missed him.
I know. I was like weepy watching him walk on stage and talk at the Emmys, and then they cut to Tina, and I was like, you guys are friends, and it's beautiful.
Did you see when he did that interview too, that morning interview about the car accident? Oh my God.
It was rough. Oh. It's just, I'm excited to just see his face.
Brian Fellows. I hope they bring back Brian Fellows.
Brian. I love too whenever there's an old cast member, there's usually some good cameos. So I'm hoping for maybe a little Tina action, but any good.
I like how that's my Tina. That kind of thing.
Tina
awesome. Well, that was the show, guys. That was episode 2. We're gonna be back next week. Very excited. And if you guys want to find us on social media, make sure you interact with us during the week too. You can use the hashtag ABTVSNL, and you can contact all of us on social media. I'm at Kim Crossman,
At Katie Wilbert.
At Amy Maestri.
I'm Kelly McInerney, but I'm at Holly Weirdo.
Yes, and thank you guys so much. We've loved bringing you this episode 2 of SNL season 41. We'll see you guys next week. Bye. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See ya.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.